Broadcasting live from atop the Rocky Mountains, the crossroads of the West. You are listening to the Liberty RoundTable Radio Talk Show.
The Department of Justice has indicted the Southern Poverty Law Center. 11 counts, including wire fraud and money laundering. I wonder if they got racketeering in there too, Sheriff. Just wondering. Anyway, you were telling us about the Southern Poverty Law Center, and you wrote up a kind of a response about them as well that I kind of wanted to finish on with this topic here.
Well, yeah, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it's basically what I've already said, that we discovered, and I'm volunteering to testify against the SPLC, because we discovered all these years, Sam, why would they take so much time and effort to lie about you and me? Why? And so I examined all the stuff they were saying about me, and literally they started at me back when I filed the lawsuit. So since 1994. So quite a while, over 30 years, clearly.
How dare you rein in Bill Clinton, the first black president, Sheriff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then when I ran for Utah County Sheriff, they really went after me again. Because they, along with the IRS and the FBI, did not want me to be sheriff again. And as I told you, and as you very well know, I got raided by the IRS and FBI 1 year, almost to the day, after I beat them at the United States Supreme Court in June of 1997. In June of 1998, I'm running, and here comes the IRS and the FBI, and had the headline all ready for the Provo Daily Herald, Mack raided by the FBI. So I'm looking at all of this, and especially the SPLC, because after they ruined my career and made sure I didn't win, the IRS and FBI left me alone. And the only follow-up was I called them and say, aren't you ever going to interview me about this? Why did you do this to me? Why aren't you following up? Why am I not being charged? So they said, well, we're going to return all the papers we took out of your desk. But other than that,
now that you lost the election over the headline, we don't really need to worry about this anymore. And that's the political violence I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Political violence has to do with elections, has to do with character assassination, has to do with all these things that they do. And so I really want to know from the Southern Poverty Law Center, hey, who's been their tag team for political hits?
Yeah.
When we talk political violence, hey, they've been doing political hits on many, many, many of us. If you don't believe me, ask Matt Staver over at the over at Liberty Counsel. Ask the Family Research Council when that thug went in to try to, shoot them all up because of the political violence that the Southern Poverty Law Center was spewing. And we can go on and on. Ask the 20 plus state attorney generals now that claim they've lost all their credibility. But the way they've got all their credibility in the first place is money, money, money. They have well over 700, almost $1 billion in the bank. A lot of it's in private bank accounts offshore. IRS, there's your tip to go after that money. Donald, if you want to do something before the midterms that would have some mojo, baby, go ahead and, sick the IRS on those guys because they deserve it. I mean, after all, it would make sense to, put that in the indictments that are going on here, too. That would make some sense. All right, about this FISA 702, are they going to pass it and sell us down the river, Sheriff? They've got to stop this spying on us all.
Yeah, I don't get that, because FISA was used against Trump.
I know, but now Trump's for it. And anyway, are they going to pass it, do you think? What's your prediction? My prediction is they sell us down the river and pass it.
I think they'll pass it.
And if you want to make an upset for the midterms and kind of turn course, the best thing to do would be to not pass it, to reject it, to say we're not spying on Americans anymore. That's not what we do.
Of course, yeah, but it's gonna be one of those things, Sam, where it's for our own good. We're stopping international terrorism. The same thing they did.
Got me.
Well, the same thing they said when they did the Patriot Act. Remember way back when George Bush pushed for the Patriot Act.
He lied and should have went to prison for his lies. He should have been impeached and everything else. All right, now Donald Trump and Melania this time. She's usually pretty quiet, but this time she's doubling down too. And they're slamming Jimmy Kimmel, demanding, quote, immediate firing over his widow joke. And he made a joke, believe it or not, that landed before this kind of a shooting took place. the joke was made before the security incident at the White House event led to demands for his dismissal from NBC. Now, the controversy, they say, also unites past disputes that Trump's family has had with Jimmy Kimmel. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not defending Jimmy here, okay? No. Because I think he's a clown and all that kind of stuff. I think his comments are ill-advised, but I'm going to defend his right to say them. And when he joked about the widow, he didn't mean an assassination. What he kind of meant was that she's young and he's old, and you know, he's been poking fun at people for years. And I'm just saying to Donald and Melania, you guys got to get a thicker skin. Nobody intended it to be related to an assassination attempt that was coming up for the third time. Okay. Jimmy didn't do that. So I'm not defending what Jimmy's saying. I'm defending his right to say it, Sheriff.
Well, yeah, but it could have been taken the other way as well. You know, that he's suggesting that somebody killed Trump.
It could.
It could easily be taken that way.
But even if he is, and I'm not suggesting he should, but even if he is, he has his free speech to do that.
Oh, yeah, and I'm with you on that. I'm totally with you on that. The only other thing, though, I would say is that Melania and Trump have a right to respond.
Of course they do.
Would I advise him to respond? No. But does he have a right to respond? Even as the president, say this kind of rhetoric is part of the problem.
And I agree. What he doesn't have the right to do, though, is use his influence to get this guy fired over this. Because, hey, what'll happen when Bill or Biden or, you know, Obama or one of those guys gets in? Pretty soon they'll say Sam's got to be taken off the air. So you got to understand that double-edged sword, people. So I'm not defending Jimmy Kimmel, and I think that Trump has every right to say, you're a clown, you're an idiot, how dare you? You know, in the era that we face today, right now, you shouldn't be saying stuff like that. I support that 100%. But to literally try to get him fired over this, I just think it's a mistake. Now, if you want to talk about government money going to these, you know, big media giants and anything else, now we're talking. Okay, I don't think Jimmy Kimmel and some of these other people would be even on the air if government didn't fund all this stuff. And see, if Trump would give me at least a shout out or two or three, like he's giving Jimmy Kimmel right now, I mean, he's turning Jimmy into a rock star right now by the coverage he's giving him.
Yeah,
even if you got to give me negative coverage, do so, Donald. I'll be a rock star pretty soon, right?
Yeah, there's some validity to that point. That's for sure. But I think Melania is a class act. I think what she said was okay. I would prefer Trump not getting involved in this because he's president of the United States. He's busy.
Yeah,
he's got all sorts of other things to do.
Don't spiral down to that, Donald. That's beneath you. Leave clown Kimmel alone and do your own thing, buddy.
But Sam, I saw comments from Bill Maher. I really want to be on the show with Bill Maher. That guy is spot on. He throws too many F-bombs, and I would probably tell him that face to face. But what I would tell him, what he just said was absolutely amazing. His comments about all of this. And same with Fetterman. Fetterman said, why don't we leave Trump alone and see he was right about getting a ballroom at the White House. Even if Trump was wrong about the ballroom, who cares? Okay? You're adding a little room or you're adding a big room to the White House. So what? Shut up, Democrats. God,
I don't understand how it's even relevant.
It isn't.
But I will say this. The Supreme Court now is examining geofence searching. It's a landmark privacy case. Now, I want to get into this with you, Sheriff, for a minute. The U.S. Supreme Court deliberated on the constitutionality of geofencing and geofence warrants during the conviction challenge of this guy that I guess committed a robbery, and then they got a warrant based on this geofencing and said, yes, he was there at the time. Justices across ideological lines are voicing concerns over privacy, over data protection regarding this digital surveillance technologies. Now, I understand it, but here's the thing. Here's what's interesting. Just so everybody understands geofencing, what it is you put an electronic fence or parameter around something, and you can track devices when they go in and out of this fenced area. Okay? So just draw on a map, whatever fence you want. Call that a geofence, and say electronically we can watch when a device leaves or enters that, quote, zone. And if you don't believe me that it works, go install Life 360 on your phone. And you even have geofencing in your own app. You can get a free version of it or you can pay for it. And you can put it like I geofence my house. And so whenever somebody comes into the zone of my house that I know, it can tell me. Okay, so it works. It's consumer available now. This isn't debate. Life 360. Anyway, the point is that the 2,000 Mules, Catherine Engelbrecht and Greg Phillips and Dinesh D'Souza, they talked about this, and they said, based on this geofencing, we can prove that these people went really close to these voting boxes over and over and over and over. And everybody mocked them and laughed at them and said, no, that's not even a thing. Now they're literally debating it at the Supreme Court. It's a thing, and I've just proven to you you can use it yourself for free nowadays. We'll have Sheriff
Are you
break it
watching
down.
what's happening in our country and asking, what can I do? Join the John Birch Society in Salt Lake City, June 6th, for a powerful one-day conference. The day includes a host of respected speakers, 2 meals, and meaningful connections. You'll gain clarity on the issues and walk away with practical steps you can take to your community. Reserve your seat today at jbs.org/SLC26. That's jbs.org/SLC26.
Attention collectors and savvy investors. We are excited to announce a momentous evolution in our journey. Introducing Free Water Coin Company, formerly known as Rust Coin and Gift. This rebranding takes us back to the very roots of where it all began. Free Water, Oregon. It's a tribute to the legacy of Al Rust and a celebration of 3 generations of dedication to excellence in the world of coins and precious gifts. Al, Brian, and Jake Rust standing strong through 64 years of service. Discover a world of exceptional service at Free Water Coin Company, your premier destination for genuine, honest money and precious gifts. Under Brian's expert guidance, Free Water Coin Company, building on the legacy of Rust Coin and Gift, continues its tradition of trust and excellence. Visit us at our Provo, Utah location. Explore our treasures online at freewatercoinco.com or call us at 801-377-1574. Free Water Coin Company, where your future is built one honest coin at a time.
All right, it's Sheriff Richard Mack, CSPOA.org, and yours truly. So the Supreme Court now is examining geofencing. It's a big concern for them now. Justices across ideological lines are saying, hey, it's a privacy problem, and is it constitutional? Those are fair questions for the court. We'll find out in June. But the reason I bring this up, Sheriff, is, number one, the 2,000 Mules talked about it, and they mocked them and said it's not true. Now we find out it's so true that it's at the Supreme Court level. And it's so true they used it to convict this guy that committed a robbery. And it's so true that, I don't know if you know, but Life 360, it's an application you can just install on your iPhone or your Android phone. And you can basically put your family in a group and you can geofence locations. And so if I tell my daughter not to go to the gym, and then I can geofence the gym, and then I can see if her phone goes to the gym.
Of course.
It's available right now for free. You can get a free Life 360 account. That's Life, L-I-F-E, Life 360. And you can actually do this yourself. It's that prolific now.
Well, when you look at the 11 scientists and then other people who are experts on UFOs and they've come up missing or they're murdered or, you got to wonder. You got to wonder about all this. And so I think I'd rather just have the little computer chip put into my wrist instead of having my phone follow me everywhere I go and track, because and why, Sam? One is because
it means we all have an ankle monitor, Sheriff.
Well, yeah, of course. But if there was something, if one of my grandkids got kidnapped,
taken, yeah.
And of course, were these 11 scientists, most of the time, their phones were left in their home or wherever they were last seen.
Yeah, that's why. Because they know if they're taken, they'll be geotracked.
Well, yeah. But one lady scientist just disappeared, and she was with her friends. She was walking with them, and she was behind. They turned, and she was gone, and no trace of her at all. And so,
yeah,
like I said in the book,
we're not sure if there's a pattern to this or not, Sheriff, yet.
Well, oh no, there's no pattern. They're just all scientists, but there's no pattern.
And they're all dead or gone in a mysterious way. It's insanity, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Insanity.
Well, so I just said in the book, we've gone too far. We've taken the hate too far, but we've also taken technology too far with the AI and all this stuff. Did you see the ping pong match just the other day? The top tennis players, the top table tennis or top ping pong players in the world could not beat this program robot. Sam, that's the thing. We cannot beat these robots. And so what do we have? We have robots now directing traffic citations, and they actually give you a photograph, and then some officer looks at the photograph and then swears out a complaint against you, even though he wasn't there. It's going too far. And I believe
an AI sheriff pretty soon, huh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. That's what they're after. They want somebody that you can program. They want some enforcement they can depend on to follow the program and the party. So
it's a tragedy, it's reality, and we got to get a handle on it, folks. And AI is incredible. It can do a lot of good things. I use it for a lot of things, folks. By the way, I don't know if people know I'm an AI consultant. I'm an IT consultant. I've been so for 40 years, and I'm an AI consultant. I do training on AI and everything else. I know quite a bit about it, and I've written like tech papers on AI and everything else. And so Sheriff's right. The technology is way ahead of the legalese and the handling of it and the decisions in terms of how it'll be governed and all those kind of things. So we need to be really, really careful with that. One thing that they did, for example, to make this point a little bit is this. Texas Rep Chip Roy, he's got a battle cry against Big Brother. He says, kill the kill switch now. So I don't know if you know, but Rep Chip Roy has introduced an amendment to eliminate the mandate that supports the installation of a kill switch in new cars. It was originally mandated back in 2021, folks. It's called the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, and they put a kill switch mandated in every vehicle. This move is tied to the GOP legislation, FISA. So right now, Chip Roy's saying, hey, we've got an opportunity when this comes to FISA to override and get an amendment to get rid of these kill switches in your car. The reason I bring it up is this is kind of AI a little bit. Hey, Sam is a bad guy, says the Southern Poverty Law Center, so AI just turns off Sam's car. Buddy, you're not going anywhere, you violent thug. You're okay. And this is where we're at, Sheriff.
Yeah, and most of them will say, well, it's because law enforcement always creates a huge danger to society when somebody runs, when there's high-speed pursuits.
Well, don't do high-speed pursuits then. Just stop.
Well, most of them have. But this way, you can catch the guy and not have a high-speed pursuit. Just turn off his car for him. Ha! So they're saying that it's all, Sam, it's always for your own good. It's always for the safety of American people. But then you say, well, then why do the Democrats destroy the border security and national security and national sovereignty by bringing in 30 million illegal aliens and terrorists? And well, Sam, you have to be able to follow the Democrats. You know, they pick and choose, and they change their minds, and their hypocrisy is just, again, it's for our own good.
Yeah, like borders should have been closed. Now they say they should be open, but they're all on record saying we got to close the borders. They're on record saying we got election fraud. Now they claim we're psychotic and there's no such thing, and we're deniers and we're this and we're that, and it's crazy. But ladies and gentlemen, big tech is pushing AI expansion despite growing regulation fears. Technology companies are rapidly deploying AI tools while policymakers are raising concerns about data control, misinformation risks, not to mention long-term economic disruption. So this is serious business, Sheriff, and I don't know how to handle it. Donald Trump wants all AI to be run through him, not through the states and stuff like that. I think at all levels of jurisdiction, we need to look at this kind of stuff, and we need to put wise governance in place. I don't think we ought to look at the government for that, though.
Yeah, and
have they not screwed up, Sheriff? Anything?
The founders warned us never to trust government, and that it was our job to hold their feet to the fire. And the American people have gone to sleep, and we've got to wake up. And that's really why we wrote the book. We really want to wake up everybody, but we really, especially the good people in the Democrat Party, you've got to wake up, and you've got to see how your own party has lied to you and brainwashed you. It's time just to come together as Americans. We've got to take.
You know how they created Judicial Watch, and now what's the other one that Larry Klayman is doing? Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch.
Yeah, I get. Yeah,
I'm thinking about creating GovWatch AI, and what GovWatch AI would do is my AI bot would track and watch and expose all the time government breaks their own laws.
Oh wow, yeah. They would probably get on overload and
it'd probably just bust my AI all up and it just run it.
It would be overload.
Like taking down the internet when people watch Donald Trump or something. Yeah. I'm just saying, this is the kind of stuff we need to do, though, folks. We're supposed to be the watchdogs. We don't need AI. I say that in jest a little bit. I'm demonstrating the absurd by being absurd a little bit. But I am highlighting the point. Look, we have got to start to stand up and stop this. Kill switches in cars. Mm-hmm. Government robots smarter than people, thinking they're going to be in attorneys and in law enforcement. AI.
And Sam, what year of car does that go back to? I mean, our pre-2010 car?
It was mandated in 2021. And so any car after that, but yet there were cars that were doing it individually before that, but not mandated by the government to do so. So it's hard to say if your car has it or not.
So you probably want anything in the 90s or 80s to drive around. And
yeah, because then if you get it early enough to an older car that doesn't have a lot of the electronics in it, then even if an EMP hits, you'll be able to start your car, right?
Yeah. So maybe I need to get a car that was predated seatbelts.
Yeah, you need to get a VW van, Sheriff.
Oh gosh, no, no thanks.
All right, get a Camaro then.
Yeah, I'll keep my Super B.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just telling you right now. There's so much going on in the news, it's hard to decide how to handle it all. It's hard to decide what to focus on the most. But I will tell you this. There are groups making the biggest difference. One of them I hope to be is Liberty RoundTable, my show. I hope we bring things to you that really help you see what's going on and help you find ways to be involved in the solutions. Yeah. And the solutions are the CSPOA.org, the County Sheriff, America's Last Hope, Sheriff Mack's new book coming out. The solutions are to understand the problems. And then to look towards God, family, and country for solutions in that order. Mm-hmm. And if we do that, we can make progress. Liberty United's making a big difference in Utah, and they're growing beyond the state of Utah now. I'm involved with Jake Oakes and those guys doing that. I'm helping them with the Liberty United podcast now. I mean, we've got so many good things happening, Sheriff. I just wish I had enough time and money to focus on it all.
Yeah, no kidding. And just as we were saying earlier, thus the problem with our book. We're trying to keep it right at 300 pages.
Yeah, but AOC is going to come out with something psychotic pretty soon, and you're going to have to add it, you know?
Oh, of course. And so we've already been talking about how many new editions we're going to have. So within the first year, we could have 3 or 4 new editions, and it's going to just keep going, I'm sure.
Well, you got to add a videos bloopers website to start highlighting them and expanding them, Sheriff, and do social media.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what you got to do.
But anyway, that comment I wanted to really add real quick that Bill Maher said, we already have a lot of socialism in America, and the problem is it has completely failed. And so he and Fetterman are my new heroes.
All right. Well, that's a spot-on statement. I'll tell you that right now. We need to promote God, family, and country and reject socialism, communism, fascism, any isms that end up in communism. That's the end game for those clowns. Reject it. LibertyRoundTable.com, CSPOA.org. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sam. It's a pleasure.
Everybody, become a member of the posse today, CSPOA.org. It's one of the great ways you can participate in the solutions because we love the greatest country on the face of the earth. I'm Sam Bushman. God save the Republic of the United States of America.